the wind don't cause too much racket onto this, over this. Trying to explain this to a fella the other day about repacking muffler using washing up scourers. Well, the first thing to understand is what type of washing up scourer you want to be using. You don't want to be using real steel wool ones. They're great for everything, paint preparation, all that sort of thing. You don't want to be using stainless steel wool ones, which are fantastic for camping. You can just keep reusing them. Even once the soap's washed out, you put a bit of detergent in it. You want to be using these things. They're probably about 70mm, 65mm across. You don't want to be using these ones. These are Woolworths ones, these are Coles ones, they're about the same price. These ones are about 40mm, 45mm across. You don't want to be using those tiny little silly things. Well, it makes you wonder if they wouldn't work well where the pipe tapers down. Might even look at that yet. But these things, they cost about 90 cents Australian. And they seem to do this job alright. I've done it about 4 or 5 times with them already. I usually just stock up on them. So I've got plenty of them already on hand. I didn't have to buy any. I brought these to show you what not to use. And that's the perpetrator pipe inside the baffle. Or it is the baffle inside the muffler. This was broken away. It looked like it had been damaged before I got the bike. Then at some point I was riding home from Sydney and this was hanging out about that far out of the muffler like that. When I pulled into a garage I realised that my baffle was flying out. So I pulled up the road and found a broken hockey strap and put the hook in the hockey strap in here after I kicked it back in the muffler and tied it off to my footrest, and that got me home, no worries. And so I've rebuilt this and I doubled it up. So instead of one plate I've used 2. That's another one of my modifications to this ride. Capped it a little bit with that. There's like 7 tubes there. And so it wasn't so open and barky, I made that fit there. This is a spare ring. I don't know why I made a spare ring at the time. I can't remember now why I ended up with a third one. But it works really well to cut a gasket because it's not quite triangular and the 3 holes aren't really 33 1/3 degrees all around. They're a little bit out, but I can make a gasket out. That's my gasket template. At the same time, I had to rebuild inside here. And again, I doubled that up instead of single. And I welded nuts behind instead of the 3 studs that the thing did have, which were a pain because they'd tangle on the whatever you were trying to load it up with. Even before I started using these things, to get in the way of these 3 studs. And so that makes it much easier. And I've opened this up as much as it can be. I could easily replace this poor old rusty pipe. Because they're only a couple $100 and that's not a real problem. But I've put this mount on so it fits exactly onto an SR500 where it should. And I've turned that one down so you don't sort of see it much. And I paint these rusted parts underneath and you don't notice it once it's on the bike, and it's getting a bit rusty on top, and I will replace it eventually. But I'm reluctant to because I like my repairs and modifications to it. And as I said, it's very easy to load and it's got a nice mount. These are where, before I had it, I think the footrest or something, and the brake or something were rubbing on it there. It has scrap metal on it as a mount. Anyway, so that's that. That's it's an aftermarket stainless steel header pipe. I just buffed it up. There's still a few little spots on here, so I'll probably hit it again yet. And these don't have the usual exhaust mount that a standard pipe attached to the frame. So to get around that, because I think they should have them, I had one come loose one time. I've made this mount. It's actually out of a shock absorber eye. I'll have to replace its rubber this time. I just noticed it split, but that's alright. I think I've got some spare shock absorber rubbers. And that works into the exhaust clamp, if that works, something like that. And then I can pick up the proper frame mount. So if you've got one of these pipes, you might want to make something like that allow you to fit the thing properly, the right number of mountings. So anyway, showing these things. They're fantastic. They open out like a donut. You just dig your fingers straight in the middle of them. I don't know why they're elastic, because they just seem to be stainless steel. I can't see any plastic or any crap in them. It's about the 4th or 5th time I've used them. Once you get them on there, they expand out a fair way. And it don't seem like a crappy idea you might think it is. I've made a gasket here, and I've glued it in place because, as I said, my holes aren't quite in line. And that'll keep that all lined up ready, and this time I've put a mark here so I know where the top of it is, so I'm not searching around when it's all happening. And I usually think I put 7 or 8 of these on there. As I said, it makes one of those little ones wouldn't work down the tapered part nice. But I think there's a bit of a bow in this pipe, and so one side would be pretty hard against the muffler anyway. I hope the wind isn't making a lot of noise on this. A bit windy, but I'll tape a little bit of foam over the speaker on my camera. Hopefully that fixes that. Now once you're feeding these in, you'll see that they're not all jammed up together like this. Because the pipe tapers, you can only sort of put them on so far anyway. You can get bigger ones, and they're like $2.70 for 2, but they're not much bigger than these. I was tempted to buy them just as another example, and they probably work up the thick end well, but these seem to work alright anyway. When you pull them out, they just come out, you know, the baffle slides out of them. I do it over the garbage bin. The baffle slides out of them, and they're full of soot and stuff, you know, but they're still all in there. You're not losing any of them through, they don't blow out or anything, or corrode or rust or something. Try and jam 8 in there. It's not like they're expensive. So, as I said, they're 90 cents a packet. You get 3 in a pack, so for $3 you get them. Excuse me. I hope this works, because I won't be remaking this video. Not till next year anyway. Now that's 6. There's a daggy bit like that, you tuck it in somehow neatly. As I was saying, because of the taper of the pipe, you know, you wouldn't be able to get them to the end real well, and also there's a bit of a bow in this perforated pipe. It just caused it to be even harder. You probably find that, you know, you're getting there already to where you might want them to be. I usually just have them laying around, I'll just buy them when I'm shopping it. Already have them on hand. As I said, I didn't have to buy any. These from the last time I didn't, I just sort of overstocked, because I found some later where I'd overstocked the previous time too. It's so cheap. I'll try one more just for the fun of it, that'll be 8. Shows all this plastic up. Windy. Now the trick is to feed the things in. I'll probably be compressing up a bit because of the taper in the pipe. I probably shouldn't have put that last one on. But if they came too tight, you just chop the top one off. scissors in there and hack it down. But I came up with this idea a few years ago, and then soon after I was watching a video on YouTube about some guys restoring some old Jaguar, I think it was, some old car. This old expert has told the fellow that owned the Jag to start doing this. Now, I'm sure by what he described, this washing up scours he's referring to, they're the only type that are going to work. The others will disappear. I don't know about the little fine stainless steel ones, but they'd be pretty pointless. Now you've got to feed them in there, which can be a bit of a drama. Let's grab a bit of wood. Free. Now, that's not what I wanted. Now this is a trick to it, and this is why it was difficult. One of these mufflers standard, as I said, they're a $200 muffler. I think they're a MGO, what are they called? Replica Dunstall pipe, and they're great because you can load them in the end. But probably should have brought a paint scraper out. Oh, this. I'm pretty sure I've used these before to sort of funnel them in. It's just like milk bottle, but it's cordial bottle. Or juice bottle. There's orange juice. Anyway, trust me, that will go in. I'll have to work it in with a paint scraper. I haven't got one out here, I wasn't thinking. But they're the things, and it is quite possible to get them in there even with the studs on the standard muffler. And you can sort of understand what it's going to be doing there. It does do something, it baffles the noise a bit. It collects a lot of crap over a year. Okay, well, I might finish that video at that. And trust me, I'll work that in there, not a problem at all when I hold it up the right way, which will be standing up straight up probably, so it's feeding itself in with gravity. I'll just get a paint scraper and feed that in. So I hope that explains that, even though it's not completed. Might do another 2-second video after it's done. Show it complete.